यस पिंकी, पिंकी आपको अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा. Yes.
Hello, namaste,
Namaste.
Paramatma ji. Thank you so much for coming and helping us here. And
Yes.
my heart is beating and racing. It's really quick right now to see. I'm very excited to see you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I won't take much time because a lot of people are there.
You can take all time.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank
But
you.
ask me questions.
Yes, I do have questions.
Yeah.
Maybe they might be silly questions, but please, may I
Let's
have your
see.
praise, God. Thank you, God. If, I have a question that the things we think that they are good for God, and we've been trying to please God whole our life, trying to pray, trying to do things like donations and things like that. Every human being doing it their best, what they think that they are trying to be a better human, and would that be even anything to God now? I mean, by doing that, are we doing anything to please God? Because this is the mentality of all of us that by doing good karma, by doing good, in the end, we will reach to the enlightenment or whatever we say. But now my aim is changed and we want to go back to the God's house. And by doing any of this thing, would that make any difference to God?
No, it will not make any difference to God because God doesn't care about all these things. Whether it is pleasing God, whether it is praising God, whether it is giving God food or doing donations or doing seva, that is charity. These things do not make any difference because God has only one requirement, and that requirement is you have to follow my will. If you do not follow my will, then God will step back. God is not interested in you. Now the question now comes, because the question now will be, what is God's will as far as you are
Exactly.
concerned, right?
Correct.
So
Yes.
now God says, I have no will with the humans unless the human wants to connect with me and remain connected with me. If the human wants to be with me and remain connected with me, then they have to let go of all their religious practice and all their spiritual practice. If they are willing, then they can be with me. If they are not willing, then also it is perfect, because as such God is making this your last life. So no new karma, no new merit or sin that will be accumulated. Whatever you have in your storyline, good, bad, ugly, they will happen. But subsequent to this life, nothing is going to be carried forward, nothing is going to happen. So, with that understanding, every human being now decides, I want to be with God or I don't want to be with God. Now, question comes, on what basis you will make that decision? So, God says, try me out for 30 days without dropping your religious practice and spiritual practice. And in this 30 days, as you share your pain or your suffering or your misery or your confusion or your stress or anything that is bothering you, and then check if God is doing something for you or not. Whatever God does, less or more, on the basis of that you decide whether it is worth being with God or not worth being with God. So God is always giving you that option to check God out.
Thank you. Sir, I have been with God for more than 30 days, and I think it is a miracle in my life happened because I was diagnosed with HLA-B27, which is a disease, which is autoimmune disease. And I, for last 10 years, I was having lots of pains and aches and lot of reports and everything. I wasn't able to walk properly, sleep properly, toe to head. Every day there was a different problem, and doctors said that now every day I have to be on my painkillers. And I haven't taken any painkillers since last more than 40 45 days or more, even that. And it is kind of unbelievable because I was having migraines, backaches, headaches. Pains are still there, but they don't even bother me anymore. So it is a miracle for me. And people, I have visited so many doctors. I have visited many. I mean, too many things I have done so far, but it is definitely working. So I would be really thankful to you to bring this to me. And I wasn't even believing this kind of things. My mom was doing lots of prayers and doing things for me. And we were telling her, like, this is all not right. बहादा रखने की ये वगैरह. But like I'm really myself surprised that this is actually working for me. So thank you very much. But I also have lots of other questions.
Please.
So this is my gratitude to you, that please accept my heart, bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for bringing this to us, and
Okay.
we are very grateful to you. Thank you, sir. And my next question is, if God says that I don't have anything to do with humans, and still He's here because of you to help us, right? So if we are going back to God's house, as a soul, if we are still alive with God, then we must be doing some sort of duties or something we must have to do for God. Is that something works like that, or God doesn't want anything from us, or
Uh,
how does it?
God doesn't want anything from the humans.
Hmm.
God just says, follow my two instructions: no religious activity, no spiritual activity.
Hmm.
And uh, it is the soul that will go back home and not the human. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Because you must be very clear, human is only five things: your body, your mind, your character. That is
Right.
personality. Three things.
Hmm.
One that is given by the God, which is a set of energy bodies. That is number four. And number five is one energy body given by the king of the universe, which is spirit, or we call it Ishwar. So you are these five things. There is nothing beyond that.
Right.
Your body will be burnt, and after that, your mind and personality will get uncreated because
Hmm.
it has no further karmic baggage left. The spirit goes back to the king, the energy bodies goes back to God. So you, and apart from this, the soul goes back to God. So all your energy bodies will go back to God because they belong to God, and the soul will go back to God because the soul has come from God.
Right.
So it is very simple. You see, God's teachings are so simple that it
Hmm.
took me only a very small book to give everything to the people.
True,
Now,
sir.
of course, the mind asks more and more questions. So we do
Hmm.
all these meetings to further clarify. But the basic information has already been given in that 70-page book.
Hmm.
So, because there isn't much to give.
Yeah.
And yet in those 70 or 80 pages, there's a huge amount of information that has been given in a very concise way.
Hmm.
And many of these informations, people say they have heard about it here and there, but here we have brought it actually into a very organized way
Right.
to give it
Right.
to people,
That's so
so
true.
that with the minimum amount of time, minimum amount of reading, they have a thorough understanding of what this human journey is all about.
Right, right, right. So if we go back to God's house, and God has obviously come to bring us to His house, so we haven't offended God, or God also has ego or emotion, because they say above as below. So are we are we thinking that way, that like God is upset, but
You
does
see,
he have that sort of?
another name of ego is separation.
Right,
Ego comes from separation.
right.
In that separation, you create a false self. So,
Hmm.
ego has many levels. The human ego is creating a false self and disconnecting from the true self. But what is this true self? This true self is that spirit inside you. That is the
Hmm.
true self. But this is all within the domain of the king. Now, king also has a ego because king got separated from God.
Yes.
Because king did not follow the will of God. But how can separation happen with God? From what will God become separate in order that God can have ego?
Can you explain? This is too much
Is this too
information
much?
overload. Information overload.
Okay, but I didn't say much.
Uh,
I just
yes.
explained ego. Your
Right.
ego is you got separated from your spirit. How you
Mm-hmm.
got separated? Because you started believing you are Pinky. You started
Mm-hmm.
believing this is your body. You started believing this is the role. You, as a mother, as a daughter, as a sister, whatever, you have
Mm-hmm.
various roles. Each one of them is an image of what you have created. So all these things, and you have all sort of memories. So you believe that your mind and your personality and your body is what you are.
Mm-hmm.
Thereby you have got separated from your spirit. Now, when people become enlightened, what happens is they no more believe they are the body, they are the mind, they are the personality. They start believing they are the Ishwar or
Right.
the higher self. That is why one level of separation is gone, which is the lowest level of separation. The highest level of separation happened to the king, where the king said, I will not follow the will of God.
Mm-hmm.
And thereby it said, I want to live on my own will, with my own will. That is the
Right.
highest ego.
Mm-hmm.
Humans are also saying the same thing, that I will live with my own will. And where from this will is coming? The mind and the personality.
Hmm.
So human has got a small will. The biggest will in our universe is the will of the king, which also says, I do not want to be with God. I want to live away from God, separate from God.
Right.
But God, from where will God separate himself to have ego?
Right.
You can separate from yourself. The king can separate from God. But from what God will separate himself to create a ego for God?
Right.
Because God is everything and there is nothing else apart from God.
Right. So we if we decide that I'm with God, that means God will accept us. He won't be disappointed in us, in his kids who left him and followed Shiv
Uh,
Niranjan.
to the extent I have known God as a human, I have never found God getting disappointed. I have never found God getting angry. I have never found God feeling let down. God observes and
Hmm.
takes actions.
Hmm.
So, all this vocabulary of disappointment, let down, all these things do not apply to God.
Right.
Question comes whether God will accept you. Well, God says there is nothing to accept because you are nothing but a shadow. Do you accept your shadow?
Oh,
You don't, because you know that it is nothing but that will only live for a little time.
yes.
So you create no relationship with your shadow.
Right.
Similarly, God knows you are going to live only for a little time.
Hmm.
And you are nothing but an object, or rather a character happening within the dream of the king.
Okay.
So God has no need to either accept you or reject you. God just looks into it. Do you really want to be with God and follow the
Hmm.
will of God? In which case, your sharing of your pain and suffering to God, God will do whatever God wants to do. But
Hmm.
when God sees that you do not want to be with God and you do not choose God, then God will say, fine, God will step back. And
Hmm.
then your storyline will continue, and whatever
Hmm.
is in the storyline, good or bad, that will that you will go through that experience. In the end, you are
Hmm.
going to die.
Fair enough. Yeah. That we all have to, right? And now we are excited to even die because we know that at least we will be out of this misery going back and forth in the life cycle. So that is a
Yes.
great news. Pradeep sir, I also have few more questions. May I?
Continue.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I
Um,
will actually go to each and every person here. I'm just telling. If you have the time to hang around, I will talk with all of you.
Thank you, sir.
Pinky, please continue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Um, After we go back to God, is there some sort of another universal life or something that soul has to carry in?
Whatever is there, the soul already knows everything because it has lived there for a long time. So
Right.
the question that you have is not the question of the soul, and you are not going to go back, and you have
Mm.
no idea what exists there. So there is
Right.
no way I can answer your question.
Fair enough, sir. Sorry. um, and another thing is 11th door is some kind of transformation, or what is it? Is it somewhere up in the sky? Even it's kind of actual door, or what are we talking here about?
It is an actual door, but it is in the 11th dimension, and the word sky that you referred to is in the third dimension.
Right.
So between 3 and 11, there is a huge difference.
Yes.
There is no way we can comprehend what is in the 11th dimension. So we just think in terms of the door in our house, that a door is opened, we can
Hmm.
enter and we can leave.
Right, right.
So
Okay, sir.
only metaphorically we can imagine that there is some door that has opened,
Right.
but it
Amazing.
cannot be explained.
There are so many things we can't explain. So, yeah, but thank you for trying. But
Yeah.
I guess you have given us a hope, and we are really thankful for that. And I also have a few more questions. So, in the book, it says that 12,000 years ago, as there was mankind and Satyug, or there wasn't a Satyug, but there is a creation of a Yug Lok, Sat Lok. Is that living in that Sat Lok is
Did I
the
did
place
I say
Satyug?
12,000 years back there was creation of Satlok? I didn't say
Uh,
that.
no, no, not you. Probably I am interpreting it wrong. So I am thinking out loud, but like in a book is somewhere it says that 12,000 years ago there was.
The
Uh,
12,000 years is about the time when the king started
right. Yes, that's right.
contemplating how to bind the humans in such a way that they do not go to God. So
Correct.
king's plan started 12,000 years back.
Mhm. So, in that scenario, the earth was existing, humans were already existing as well.
Mm.
Right. So,
Yes.
so the whole science is beyond this 12,000, 15,000 years ago, humans and then religion and everything was still there at that point.
What was the question? The whole
So,
science.
science of
Science. Okay.
religion
Okay.
and
No, there was no religion. There was no
Hmm.
religion, there was no spirituality. All this started happening only around 10,000 years back.
Right, right. Okay, so
That is when
religion.
Shiva came to the humans
Hmm.
as directed by the king. Shiva started bringing all these things. And along with Shiva, there were many more that came. They also started propagating all these things. So, religion and spirituality started 10,000 years back, but it was not the way it is currently.
Right.
They did multiple experiments
Mm-hmm.
as to how to create religion and how to create spirituality.
Correct.
And then they found that all their experiments failed. So they said, we will start again with a clean slate. And in order to start with a clean slate, they decided to wipe out humanity. And so there was a great flood that happened, and in that flood, everything was wiped out. A few remained here and there. And then again, the king started the whole game of creation. And then again, king started creating spirituality and religion in a different way, having learned all the lessons. Because every
Mhm.
experiment that you do gives you a uh, data which you
Yeah.
take to the next experiment.
Right.
So king brought in the data of the past 5,000 years and again started, and then finally king kept on tweaking, and what we have today is the final version of what king started 10,000 years back.
Right, right. And God is here to take that all back. If he now humans has started making machines, so is that some sort of thing that God made a
god
cheat?
doesn't God doesn't care about all these things, because
Right.
as such all the souled beings are going to live in next 100 years,
Okay.
and then God doesn't need the humans anymore. As such, God doesn't need them even right now, but after that, God is not interested in the humans. Today, God is interested in the humans because we have the 11 energy bodies given by God, which is with the souled beings, not with the non souled beings.
Hmm.
Once all the energy body goes back to God, God is no more interested in the humans. Because for God, humans is nothing but another machine that the king is
Exactly.
playing with.
Right.
So
So God will. Sorry.
we will be robotic humans. We will
Exactly.
not be souled humans.
That means Carl will die at some point, and humans will die as well, and then machine will take over the world
No,
or
no, not
something
like
like
that.
that.
Not like that. Not like that. It is everything is happening within the will of the Kal or king.
Right. Right.
And what king is going to do after God leaves, God doesn't care and God doesn't talk about it also.
Okay. Okay, sir. I think I have a long list of questions, but I feel that other people are also waiting. So
Okay, fine. Yes. If no one has any further questions, you can come back with your questions. Okay.
thank you so very much, and thanks for everyone for your patience, and thank you so
Okay.
much, Pradip ji.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Arjit ji,
नमस्कार जी परमात्मा।
नमस्कार। आप
तो
सबको नमस्कार।
साथ में मेरा वाइफ और मेरी
यस यस, मैं समझ गया।
हाँ।
तो मेरा पहला क्वेश्चन है कि like we in the spiritual journey we come to know about like we have 7 chakras in our body and all those things, and there are yoga and some crystals which help us to align these chakras and balance the energy. So can we wear these crystals and do the yoga?
So how long you have been doing all these things?
I am not regular at doing yoga, but I wear the crystals.
So why
Maybe
do you wear the crystals?
I feel that they keep me positive, they help me calm down, and some difference I feel in my day to day activities.
So, do you find God to be more effective in calming you down, or do you find crystals to be more effective in calming you down?
That a difference.
Because
Maybe.
that is how you will choose whether
Okay,
God or crystals. Because crystals belong to the king.
okay.
Okay.
That is why I'm asking these questions to help you make a decision.
I
Because
also
because I have no interest in really telling you that you should choose God. So I do not have that interest. Only thing is, I I want you to be as much as possible to be happy and as much as possible to be pain free. And whatever gives you relief, I want you to continue with that. I only give God to those who did not get relief in spite of everything that they have done. So I tell them, try God out. But I am not trying to take people away from what they are doing and trying to tell them, no, you must choose God, you must be with God. I am not saying none of these things. Because in the end, our work is done. And our work means this is your last life, your soul is going back home, and all your energy bodies are going back home. So, from our side, the work is over. The only thing this human cares for is that you have some peace and some relief from your suffering. Whatever gives you that, continue with it. Clear?
thank you. My next question is that till few times ago, a mantra was being given after trying God for 30 days.
Yeah, but now God says mantra is no more to be given. God has made it very simple. And what it is that only once you have to say to the image. Exact statement is written in the website, but it is something like, I want to be with you 24/7. Something like that. Exactly, you can check it out in the website and just say it once. You don't even have to say again and again. Now the only thing that remains is what will decide if your connection will God will continue or not. It will be decided by, did you let go of your uh, religious practice and did you let go of your spiritual practice. If you have let it gone, then you are with God. Otherwise you go reconnect with the king.
Okay. So I have to say that line every day to that
Only once is enough.
human.
But sometimes, if you feel that your connection is lost or it has become weak and you are still not connected with the king, which means you are not doing any religious practice and any spiritual practice, then again say that to the card and again you will be reconnected. Because many a times we get disconnected when attacks happen to us, when we go to a very negative place, when we meet people with very high negativity, when someone does something bad to us energetically, in those cases the connection gets disconnected. So we again, first we tell to God, whatever disconnected me from you, you please take care of them. And second, you say that phrase again, that I want to be connected with you 24/7, only once.
Okay. Thank you. One more question is there that in your book, you in podcast, I have listened that now there are beings who do not have souls, non-soul beings, and
Yeah,
in the
there are humans.
and in book it is written that soul writes our story, and soul also give us the breath. So I want to ask that how breath is given to those human, because they are also exactly like us.
Their story and breath is given to them by group souls or by God directly, one of the two. In souled beings, individual souls give breath and write the story of individual humans.
Okay, that is group.
In their case, it is either group souls or the king directly.
And one question, last question is that many souls are now ready to go back and to God. Now, there may be some soul who are not willing also. I don't know. But I'm saying if that is the case, then what will be the human beings who are who they are
If,
attached to?
if any souls remain back for whatever reason, they will not be able to create any more souled beings. Why? Because all the energy bodies, the 11 energy bodies, God is taking them back. God is not leaving any energy bodies here. Because of that, the souls, even if they create a human, they cannot create the souled beings, which currently it is creating. So it will then have to create non souled beings. So it is now up to the soul what they want to do.
Thank you.
Okay?
I
Thank
have
you. Prashantji,
Namaste.
namaste.
Uh, Feeling blessed to directly talk, getting chance to talk to you. Thank you for your grace. I'm calling from Wellington, New Zealand.
Okay.
In the March, I got exposed while I was doing some NLP learnings. One of the podcasters taken your interview, and ever since, my life has completely changed. So thank you for giving that. Stability that I've been, searching. I think Minaji also said that after COVID, everybody was going through that spiritual journey. I was one of them, and been just going everywhere. But wife was asking, why you're not able to keep yourself calm when you're doing so much things. So thank you for that. So I have 3 to 4 questions, all related to the God connections. So first is, and I'm feeling right now really really hot while talking to you. Thank you. So one thing is, because I'm not able to, because I'm coming from spirituality. There used to be, after all the chakras got activated, there is fluid used to go through and run through all those chakras. Uh, so the same thing I see when I ask God for the grace. Similar kind of fluid goes mostly from crown or sometimes from some other places. So I'm not able to understand, is it the king part or is it the God part? But I'm mostly, after I'm connected with you, it is mostly I'm seeing from the God. So can you, like, I've never got any explanation about those fluids running and actually balancing those chakras.
What is
So
running? What is running?
the fluids, the juice of the fluids run through
Or you
those
can feel
chakras.
the fluids. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. And
Basically,
and
they
that's how yeah.
basically they are energies, not fluids, but you are experiencing them as fluids. That is
Okay.
your experience, but it is energy. That is number one. Number two, activation of the chakras are not important, nor your chakras are activated,
Okay.
because currently everything has been deactivated by God.
Okay.
So, whatever you had achieved through your spiritual journey, everything has been wiped out when you came to God. Why?
Okay.
Because now it is no more about going from third dimension to fifth dimension. Now it is about totally living all dimensions,
Okay.
which means these chakras, which are nothing but an extension of the energy bodies, all the energy bodies are going out of the whole system called the universe. Whatever spiritual practices you were doing, that was about moving one step above in the ladder of the universe, which is from third dimension to the fifth dimension. So, do you
Yes.
get the significance how both the journeys are totally different?
Yes, I
One
do. And I get, yes.
One is just going one step up, the other is going beyond wherever the ladder ultimately ends.
Yes.
It's totally two different things. In the first case called spiritual journey, you are still stuck within the ladder. You are still stuck within the king. You are still stuck within the hypnosis of the king. Now, this is very interesting thing to understand, that what is this hypnosis, what has been hypnotized. You are five things. First is your physical body, second is your mind, third is your character or personality, which is your programming, fourth is all your energy bodies, and fifth is spirit or Ishwar. Now, this thing called spirit, as such, is an extension from the matrix or Brahman, which ultimately is going to go back into the matrix or Brahman after you die. Rest of the four is under the hypnosis of the king. Now, what will happen if you become spiritually evolved? The hypnosis of the body, the hypnosis of the mind, and hypnosis of the character or personality, all three will be uncreated. The hypnosis will be gone. Why? Because all these three things are no more there. But your energy body is still there. And your energy body is still under the hypnosis of the king. And that is why I tell people that even Shiva is under the hypnosis of the king, because all the energy bodies of Shiva is under the hypnosis of the king. What God is doing is ultimately taking you out of the hypnosis of the king all the way out of the jurisdiction of the king. Did you get what I'm pointing to?
Yes, yes. And the only thing what I'm saying is I'm getting those same sensations. The chakras are moving or something like that. And especially, when you mention, I've heard
The
your podcast where
sensations
you
will
say
be
that.
the sensations will be the same, for the simple reason that you have a certain, what I would say, a pathway that you have created with your spiritual practices, and the
Okay,
energies are moving within those pathways and giving you the same experience, but they are
okay,
now of no importance. Earlier, they might have been important depending on your storyline, and if your storyline allowed, you would have become enlightened and gone to the fifth dimension. Now, that
I
is
see.
not going to happen.
So even though it was written in the storyline, it's still not happened because
It
I'm with the
still
God
will
now.
not happen,
Okay, got
because
it.
the last part, that which was meant to happen, God will cancel
We're
that.
going up. Got it, because we are going far above.
Yes.
So again, connection with the God. Then the ringing in the ear is that, again, what I feel is when I'm having a strong connection with the God, or when I'm saying, "Hey, I want to test connection," and then ask for the statement, then I have my right ear rings really hard. So is that also? Can I consider that also that I'm connected, or there is not no significance like that?
In your case, you can consider yes.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
saying
you.
in your case.
Yes, yes. No, I because I kind of a gut feeling when you mentioned the muscle testing and all. So can I use that also to ask
Yeah,
those questions?
many people have different ways of confirming. In your
Got it.
case, currently, that is yes.
Very nice. Because my left ear tries to, deceive me, but I can understand the right ear part of it, and I feel that this is where the king is trying to work it out, and there is something going on.
Yeah,
So
continue.
So another thing, before I came to you, the hypnotherapy somehow came in my life. But I've gone for a couple of classes after I connected with you, and I don't see the connection going. So, but I don't want to risk anything. So my question is, am I supposed like, is there a risk of losing God's connection because it started and continuing
Uh,
learning for myself only?
yes, hypnotherapy will disconnect you from God because it will
Okay,
reconnect you with the spirit.
okay, got it.
All
That's
hypnosis comes from the spirit.
got it. Clear.
Regular therapy does not disconnect you from God. NLP without hypnotherapy does not disconnect you from God.
Got it. So the NLP part of it, the relaxation part of it, that
Yes.
is,
You see, anything within the logical framework of the mind is okay.
yes,
Anything
got it.
within the hypnotic part is not okay. Anything
Got
which
it.
is angelic, not okay. Anything connected with the non physical dimensions, not okay.
Got it. I think one further question onto that one. So whatever the visions that we get, is it our spirit showing us those vision?
That again has to be checked vision by vision because there is no general answer to that.
Okay,
Every vision can come either from God or from King. So that you will
got
have
it.
to check. Normally, God gives very less vision, normally. But sometimes, yes, God does give.
Got it. So, and I remember you said about the Akashic records, it's just for time pass, just to know the storyline. It is also still no with the God connection.
God says, do not go to the Akashic records.
Got it. Got it. I
At,
asked that question. Yep.
if at all you are interested to know the past, no, even PLR is also no, because again that involves hypnosis.
Got it.
Past life regression is also no, because that involves hypnosis.
Got the clear answers. I think just the last question for my daughter. She's 11 years old, and I've kind of tried to introduce her to you, but I think she gets scared looking at the image. But when one time she was sick and she asked for grace, and within second things worked for her, and she kind of got scared from that experience, and then she just avoids. So, is there any way like we can seek and I can keep asking for grace for God so that she can start talking to you or the image?
You cannot do that because once she has seen that face or image, now it is up to you. There are forces which is stopping her from connecting, but that is her journey. Even though she is young, pretty young,
Yep.
that doesn't mean that you can intervene on her behalf. It is still her choice, it is still her decision, and you cannot try kind of motivate her or inspire her or try to talk her into this relationship with the image, because if one is put up by the image, one is also put up by God, because God now currently for the humans is only through the image. Humans do not have an access to God minus the image.
Mhm.
So currently the image is the only access. If the image pushes people away, that means they cannot connect with God.
I think she has your healing card always in her pocket for the school when she goes, but it's just
And
that I'm not getting.
if she's connecting in a different way, then let it be
Yeah,
her journey.
got it. Got it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Thank
God.
you, Prashant ji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Prashant ji.
Pranam. Just a follow-up questions from
Yes.
I actually connected with Savitri ji and what she was telling. I could relate. The disconnections from other people and everything. But my question is, when you are in a job which is with the people and you're actually releasing karma, and that's where, and also another thing that I actually read those statements in the book almost every day. So it says that those who are having some, ill things about you, you just want to avoid them. But all the drama happens in the office and in that setting, right? So how this aligns with the storyline, and will there be any kind of contradictions with that in related to the job or money or whatever that comes to us?
Are you able to enjoy the drama happening in the office?
No, and that's why I've actually taken a break.
Why
It was enough.
why you cannot enjoy? Do you feel unsafe there or
No, it
incompetent to deal
was.
with the drama?
No, I think it goes to that they're not understanding where we are coming from, and explaining. We are trying to help them, but they don't want help. They just want to do really bad way, and this doesn't align.
Let me tell you, we live in a world which is not a very fair world. Number one. Number two, it is not our job to create a fair world. Number
Mm.
three, it is not our job to tell people what is right and what is wrong. Number four, it is not our job to stop people from creating miseries for them because it is in their storyline they have to go through. Number five, all the politics that happens is a power game, and in that power game, can you play that game without going into any kind of negativity? If you cannot play that game, you can step back, or if you can play that game, you can play it fully well and be in that game. Either way, it will not disconnect you from God because God doesn't care for these political games. God has not given a directive that you must not be in politics, that you must not play the power game, that you must not control people. These directives were not given by God. So, if it is a part of your profession to control people, if it is a part of your profession to play politics with people, then fully engage with them without having any kind of negativity, without feeling bad. This does not disconnect you from God. God says only two things will disconnect you: all your religious practices and all your spiritual practices. The end.
Got it. So it will continue as per the storyline, and whatever the jobs would
Yes.
come, irrespective of the karma releasing or whatever that we are
Let
continuing to
that
do.
be God's work. You don't anymore bother about karma releasing. God
Got
has
it.
taken it over. You just
Got it.
enjoy whatever little bit you can enjoy or whatever maximum you can enjoy, depending on your storyline. Because everything is a time pass now.
So my another direct question would be: King is not going to interfere because we have chosen the God. He is
Uh,
going to
king
come
will
into the job.
king will try to interfere. That is what I
Okay.
always tell people. King will try to interfere, but it is up to you to decide that can you deal with that interference and be with God, or you find that interference so overwhelming that you decide I don't want to be with God, I'm coming back to King. But yes, King
Got it.
will interfere.
Got it. Got it. And I can feel that. So another question. I think you clarified that you don't need to say all the statements written in the book, but I read them every day. Is there a? It's okay, right?
There is no need.
Okay.
If you are just reading it, it is okay, but it is not required. God says only when it happens. Only when you
Okay.
are pain, you tell me. When you are suffering, you tell me. When you are stuck, you tell me. When you are confused, you tell me. When you are under stress, you tell me. But
Got
if
it.
you are thinking that by doing it every day, you will prevent all these things, prevention will not happen.
Got it. Got it. Loud and clear. I think just the last question. I think when you mentioned you came to the this world with some other universes, was it King's universes or it was God's domain universes?
It was all king's universes. When my
Okay.
soul left God's domain, I entered the domain of the king.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Pradeep ji.
Thank you,
May I have
Prashant
your
ji.
grace card? Thank you. Thank you.
सुनील जी अभी ट्राई कीजिए. हाँ, खुल गया.
जी 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 प्रणाम प्रणाम.
प्रणाम.
इट हैपन मैं कुछ 20 एक दिन पहले पॉडकास्ट सब देख रहा था, तो उसमें आपका पॉडकास्ट अपीयर हुआ. तो आई हैपन टू गो थ्रू एंड इट वाज जस्ट थ्रिलिंग थ्रिलिंग थ्रिलिंग. नाउ टू बी ऑनेस्ट, बहुत सारे लोग जब ये सुनेंगे तो उनको ये लगेगा कि कोई पागलपन है, या ये कोई इमेजिनेशन है, या कोई हेलुसिनेशन है, समथिंग लाइक दैट. But with the experience of my age and my profession, which I was into, and all that, I was very clear in my mind, and I am very clear in my mind. It is not an imagination. It is a different kind of आयाम जो मैंने पहले अपनी लाइफ में कभी ये सुना नहीं. मैंने ये जो अगम और इन सूतल और ये जो लोगों की जो सृष्टि आपने बताया ये बुक में, वो मैंने पहले भी सुना है कहीं से, एक जगह से. Now I have been I got this book about 15 days ago, and I have read it twice, and I am practicing जो भी मेरी कामनाएं हैं, या मेरे फेलियर्स हैं, या मेरी डिजायर्स हैं, या अनफुलफिल्ड ड्रीम्स हैं, उनको मैं बेशर्मी से बिना किसी लाग लपेट के वो आपके स्वरूप के सामने बोलता हूँ रोज पिछले 14-15 दिन से. So far, I don't find change, but then at the same time, I know it is not a magic wand के immediately 5-8 महीने घुमाया और ये मैजिक हो जाएगा. ना होता ना होगा. No, going further, I just want to know कि पूरा जो जिस्ट मैंने निकाला उसमें से मैंने आपके बहुत सारे पॉडकास्ट सुने हैं और मैं सुनता रहता हूँ और प्रॉब्लली आगे भी सुनता रहूंगा. उसमें एक बात विच आई वांट टू अगेन रीक्लैरिफाई कि जब मैंने आपके इस स्वरूप के ये पुस्तक के माध्यम से या आपके कार्ड के माध्यम से जब मैंने एक बार उसके दर्शन कर लिए, जब मैंने एक बार उसको देख लिया, तो it is sure that I will not have another birth and I am out of this journey forever. And
Yes, it is sure, because God said that one moment of viewing the image is enough to make this your last life.
Wonderful.
And not only that, then people ask me, then what about those people who will never see the healing card, who will never see the podcast? But God right now is going to people in their dreams. They do not remember my face when they wake up. And God is imposing my face on other individuals for a second or two for the others to see God's face. So this work is happening in a very big way, in a very wide way. Hardly a few thousand people will come to the podcast. Hardly maybe a few lakh people will get the healing card. But these crores and crores of people, rest God is going to do the work. And it will happen in next few years.
Right. सर मुझे एक और चीज जाननी ये थी कि
But there was one more thing I just wanted to share with you. You mentioned that you are sharing with God about all your failings, about all your shortcomings, about all whatever you cannot speak with others. You are speaking unfiltered with God, and yet you do not find any shift happening. Then let me tell you one thing: God will not change you the way you are. God will not make you a better person, because in God's eyes, you are only what you are according to your storyline, and God has no judgment whether you are good or bad. So God will not go in that to make you a good person. God will not make you saintly. God will not make you pious. God will not make you a holy person. Only thing God says, if the way you are, you find you are not able to accept yourself and you are not peace with that, that you tell to God that I am not able to accept myself the way I am. May I have your grace, God.
जी,
Just that is needed. Your acceptance of the way you are and everything that you did in your life.
जी,
Okay?
जी। मुझे और आपसे ये पूछना है कि माई इंडिविजुअलिटी एज अ सोल वुड ऑलवेज बी देयर, या जैसे कुछ लोग अभी मैंने सुना वो बोल रहे थे कि आई वांट टू मर्ज विद परमात्मा एंड मैं उनकी एग्जिस्टेंस में
Your individuality as a soul will always be there.
विल ऑलवेज बी
All the
देयर।
souls are not going to reintegrate with the body of God
जी, जी, जी।
because they still have a journey after
हम्म,
they go back to God.
हम्म, हम्म,
Their journey is not ending. Your
हम्म,
my journey as a human will end, but their journey will continue.
जी, जी। And do we go with all the memories of all the lives or
No,
which
no,
we
no. Everything will be wiped out.
would be wiped out? And do have we been existing on this plane only for all these years since God has expelled His Son from His domain? So we have been existing from then onwards in this plane only.
Uh, in the third dimension, yes, but on
Yes.
the planet Earth, no.
Okay. Okay. And despite being, even if I go to some pilgrimages, which I have been doing all my life, going here, there, with this sadhu, that, I mean, that is a long story. So there is no point in discussing that. But the point is, in any case, that connection is not going to, wipe out this promise of my going back to Godhead again, to his own place, to his
Uh,
domain.
okay. Every journey that you have had in the past
Ji.
doesn't come in the way of you being with God. Number one. Only thing, if you go back to those journey, then that comes in the way of you being with God. But
Mhm.
even if you go back to those journeys in the past, this is still your last life. This is still your soul is going back home and your energy bodies are going back to God.
That means I have nothing to lose.
You have nothing to lose. But if you find going back to the earlier journey interesting, God has no issue with you going back.
But I would always remain, tied to God, going back to my home where I belong to, because I've been suffering for long enough. So many births, maybe so many years, so
Then
many
whatever little life is left, just
births.
be with God.
Gee, gee. And do I have the grace of God on me?
Yes, you have.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have been trying to call up, and I have been trying to, speak to you. Not exactly speak to you. I just wanted to, look at your original Swarup. But now that you have assured me, even the Swarup which I get in the form of this card or this book which I have now, I have been doing that for last 15 days because I got it 15 days ago, and I read it in one go on the same day when I received. So now this assurance is there. So I have no doubts. I have not many questions in my mind. कि ये कैसा और वो कैसा और वो क्यों हुआ और वो क्यों हुआ, जो हुआ सो हुआ. But I just wanted that assurance that yes, if I have seen this Swarup right now, which is there in front of my, in this via this mobile or via this book which I have, my work is done. I am through. I am out of this jail.
It is done.
Right. Thank you so much. I don't want to remain in this jail. How I get out, it doesn't matter, but I have to get out of this jail, And I don't want to go into delve into those reasons. मैं जेल में आया कैसे और क्यों
Don't
आया.
worry,
My-
Sunil ji. You will also get out. I will also get out. Don't worry.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Sunilji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Thank you.
Yes.
I'll go in for mantra only after a month. Let me go through this and then
No,
I
there is no more mantra being given.
no more now.
Ah,
Okay.
just
Yeah.
going to the mantra page in the website, it gives all the guidance,
Okay.
what you need to do.
Ji, ji. I'll do that. I'll do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.